Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 4.
Welcome to another Ken's Corner Podcast, and we're here on the fan panel. Boys, whippy, wow, eh? It didn't start so damn good. I thought we were going to be saying a lot different, or singing a lot different tune, and maybe chewing them out and, I don't know, picking up on Joe's abilities of glass is always half empty. But we're back to glass half full, and wow, we got a 3-point lead. Who would have thought, right? 3-point lead in first of the Atlantic Division. We're going to start with you, Joe. Well, let me do a roll call. We got Joe Moyer, my partner at Whistle FM, co-host. Always a pleasure to have you on, Joe. George, all the way out there in Calgary, wearing that beautiful Ken's Corner t-shirt. Thank you so much for the support. And Phil in Parts Unknown. How you guys doing?
Good.
Nice to be on top.
Joe, we'll start with you. That first game, San Jose, was that your typical playing down to the San Jose Sharks? They beat us in overtime. Again, what's that, twice in the last month? Wasn't a great start. Let's tear apart that game. Although, you know what? We did come up with a point, which is very, very important into the scheme of what we're going to be speaking about here today. Let's get your thoughts on that game, Joe.
Well, that was the shootout win. I think our goaltending wasn't great. I think it was an off night for Joe Wall, but he certainly bounced back after that. So you're going to have nights like that. But whenever the Leafs play these young, hungry teams, they get pumped for the Leafs. Like, it's almost a little disadvantage, I think, sometimes, because half the team are hometown boys that want to make an impact and wanted to play for the Leafs at one point in their career. Likely, maybe I'm being too much of a homer, but every team that comes into Toronto, there's like 6 guys that wants to, so I mean, you got that disadvantage.
Yeah, well, Joe, guess what? We are, like I've said before, we're called the Leaf fan panel. We're not called the NHL fan panel. So it's okay to be a homer on my show. I appreciate your honesty. Phil, we're going to move on to you, and let's get your analysis of that. Wow, LA, the best home team in the NHL. And we played to their game, did we not? We came out big in that one with that 3-1 win. What do you think was that? Who was a catalyst in the win?
The way that Johnny T was playing was pretty instrumental in that win. I'm going to touch on a little bit with the San Jose game as well. Let's not forget that we played like the 2 days before that San Jose game, and then we had to travel to the West Coast, and you got a late start, and it's hard to get up for those games after that travel. You're dealing with the jet lag. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guys, but then you have a young, hungry team that's going to throw everything that they got at you, and that's what we got. I agree with Joe. Wall had a rough game and stuff. Now jumping to the LA game, there was no room out there for either team. It was smothering defense. It was a trapped down neutral zone. I thought JT played unbelievable in that game, and he's been every bit of that used to be captain that we had.
Yeah, you're right. He's now up to 35 goals. Is he driving himself up? I'm hearing a lot of chatter. Oh, I wouldn't pay him 8. I wouldn't pay him 9. But the more that man scores, and if he walks into a free agency, the only 40 goal scoring center out there, what can he get on the open market if he wants to hit it? That's the point, right? But that's not for today. George, we're going to bump forward to you. Now, as the boys were saying, Joseph Woll did not have the best game in that San Jose game. Did he atone for his play in that game last night? Or was that a Steve Lorentz, Max Domi game last night?
Well, I'm gonna say the San Jose game. Yeah, it was a late start for those boys. I think halfway through the game, it would have been 12 o'clock at night for them. So I mean, Wool had a bit of a bad start, and yeah, the time zone was killing you. But look at what happened in the last minute of the game. We come back and scored 2 goals. The second goal is in 12 seconds to go in the game. And that was great. It was great to come back and get that 1 point. L.A. John Tavares, he was the man. He was the man. He was standing on it, getting in there, getting some goals for us. Now let's go to sorry, who were we playing?
Anaheim Ducks. I know they're
Anaheim
coming at us
Ducks.
fast and
My
furious right
bad.
now.
My bad. But Anaheim Ducks, yeah, they were a hungry team and they're pretty good. But I like Stolars. I like what he did for us, and I like him standing in there. And he looked pretty darn good. And there was a full team effort, and we got the points. 5 out of the 6 points that we needed to get, and we got them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, I'm just going to go off a little bit here, guys. I just want to talk real quick and just send my thoughts out to my son and the people of Thailand and Bangkok and Myanmar for all their loss in that crazy earthquake over there. I'm lucky enough that my son has contacted me, and he's doing good. I also want to send out my thoughts to the people that, including our editor. My cat wants to join the frame here in their new webcam, I guess. But I want to send out my thoughts, including our editor, Sean Feller, who have lost their power until I don't even know when, sometime this week in that crazy ice storm. Okay, let's get back to what our challenge next. Well, guys, just over this stretch of this month, our power play is just rocking it, right? I think we're up there number 1 in the NHL. Wow, who would have thought, right? Well, I guess the cat actually made it. Okay.
We're fifth in the NHL in power play. We are second in the NHL since January 1st in power play, and we are first in power play in the month of March, and as high as 40 something percent over March. It's been a complete turnaround. I didn't believe in this five forward power play thing, but the way that they are moving the puck and getting that swingman into the bumper position, and they have just been pumping goals. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, Joe, can I get you to break down your thoughts on the power play now? What's working? Is it I mean, is this 5 forward even going to work? Can they do this? Can they go to the 5-man forward in a playoff game?
Well, we don't have that power play quarterback with the booming shot. That's the one thing I've been harping on for a few years. You need that big cannon of a shot. Morgan Riley doesn't have it. He's an okay puck handler, but I don't think he should be the quarterback on our power play. Listen, it starts with winning the draw. And what was our face-off percentage against Anaheim? Like 57%. Like the Leafs on the face-off dot are a really good team. Once you get possession in the offensive zone, with that team, the Leafs and the talent they have and their passing ability, it's hard to get that puck off them. Same as overtime. That's why the Leafs have had a lot of success. You got to get possession early, and they do on the draws, and then they can work their magic from there.
Thank you. And George, I mean, let's talk a little bit about who did I want to talk about? Brandon Carlo. That's who. I'm sorry, the cat threw me off here a little bit. But Brandon Carlo, did you know that he was fighting a brother of a UFC, Malat? His brother they're from Burlington, and his brother, and his thoughts were afterwards, Brandon Carlo, and he said, "Wow, I didn't know that. I'm surprised I didn't get knocked out." What were your thoughts on that fight? Did he hold his own against the young, feisty LA forward Malat?
I just want to correct myself. I think I made a mistake. It was Stolars that was against LA, and it was Wool against Anaheim, and Wool still on his head. And we don't talk about our enough about our penalty killing. We've been doing really good in that, and getting in front of the shots, and that's definitely one of Wool's favorites that happened, and everybody's putting their bodies in front of these shots, and that's a good thing. So stepping to Carlo and that fight. No, but I don't think anybody knew that his brother was an MMA fighter, and maybe he got taught a little bit to how to fight. But I think Carlo did a good job. I mean, stepping on that sticker at the start was a little bit of a bad thing for him, but I don't think he did too bad at all. So maybe Carlo should be an MMA fighter.
Yeah, he held his own, and just he seems to be a real likable guy, and he kind of chuckled with his blood coming down his nose at the penalty box, and the other guy kind of giving him props. So he really adds to what we're trying to do out there, I believe. So let's talk about our other guy, Phil. We're going to move off to you because I know I've asked Joe this question 100 times, and so we're going to move to you. Let's talk about Scott Laughton and your thoughts on his play so far as a Toronto Maple Leaf, and why does he keep saying they and not we yet?
Well, you spent 12 years in one franchise, and it's going to be they probably until the start of next season. We knew what we were getting with Lawton. He's a shutdown guy. He's a third or fourth line center. He's going to take some time to get used to the guys. He's not going to come in here and score 10 or 15 goals for us. I don't think anyone was expecting that. If he can be a shutdown guy with his line mates 5-on-5, and he can be a contributing penalty kill player for us, I think it's a successful trade.
Yeah, honestly, I heard this somewhere along the line. He's got Gary Volk vibes. To see this guy scoring an overtime goal in Game 5 of the playoffs, and you know what? I can totally see that. That shot that he did score, the goal he did score on, was a nice shot. So if you can get that off, and I mean, he's never been a 20-goal scorer in Philadelphia ever in his NHL career. So you're right, he is what he is, and I still enjoy having him there, and I can't wait until he says we. Now, let's talk about Craig Berube. When prodded, they asked him about Max Pacioretty, and thoughts are Max Pacioretty is going to be playing third line in Game 1. Do you think that will have any impact, Joe, on the Leafs? Do you think that's going to help us?
Yeah, I do. Listen, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, he tweaked something in practice in January and is on long-term injury reserve. Love that move by the Leafs. Let the guy rest up. He got his bonus 35 plus games. I think he did 37. So he's $1.5 million player. He got his bonus. So sit, rest up, get healthy. You're jumping back in the playoffs. So I think that's a good move because when he has been in the lineup, he's hit everything that's moved or tried to. And why risk getting hurt now between now and the end of the year, and then you lose him for playoffs? Because, I mean, he is fragile, paper thin. It's the way it is. So get him at his best, healthiest, in shape. First game of the playoffs, throw him in there. And I think that's really going to help Scott Laughton and our third line.
Yeah, I agree with you. George, it depends. I mean, Montreal is helping us out. Go figure. If Montreal had a loss to Florida when we beat Anaheim, we would have clinched the spot, but isn't that just a given anyway? But so they are actually helping us by beating Florida, and they have another game. We get Florida on the back end of a Montreal Florida tilt that's going to happen on, well, probably sometime when this is released, if we can hopefully get it out before Wednesday morning, before game time in Florida. But my point is, where am I going at? Right now, we're sitting 3 points in first, so we're aligned. It seems that Ottawa is not giving up the first wild card spot. What's your comfort level for the fact that I don't even remember the last time we beat Ottawa? What's your comfort level playing Ottawa in that first round?
Well, it's a scary thought, but I think we can do it. Allmark isn't playing the best as he can. I've seen him do some dumb stuff, but then again, I've seen Woll do some dumb stuff. So what I'm going to say is, I know our track record for this season hasn't been that great, But come crunch time, I think we're gonna run them over.
Phil, I'm going to pass it off to you. We're all going to get a chance to chime in on this one. All three is Phil. You're next. What's your comfortability and your thoughts on? Well, it could very well happen. We keep if we beat Florida and somehow get past Tampa Bay. I heard that if we go 5-2-1 down the stretch here, we will in fact be at first place. So we very well can do that. So what's your thoughts on playing Ottawa in the first round?
I'm not comfortable with it at all. Obviously, like I think we're 0-6 in our last 6 games, but think about how exciting that series is going to be. A freaking all Ontario Battle of Ontario again. Oh man, it just takes you back to the early 2000s with Tucker running around like chicken with his head cut off and jumping over the boards trying to fight everybody. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to the overall how we played against them recently, but the fact of the matter is that our team, is built for the playoffs, and I'm still going to say that we're going to take that series, but it's going to be one hell of a battle.
I agree. And Joe, I'll give you the last thoughts on a Toronto Ottawa series.
Yeah, I agree with Phil. It'd be something else. It's been a long time coming, and I remember those wars. They were great. They were the best playoff series ever. And the Leafs didn't do too well against Ottawa in the regular season and Daniel Alfredson either. And then come playoffs, they had their number year after year. So listen, I'm quite happy to have the two Florida teams beat the crap out of each other for the second round. I think that's the best scenario for us is let those two go at it. And we, take our chances with Ottawa. I think Ottawa will surprise a lot of people because they're a young, hungry team. But again, you guys are right. The Leafs are built for the playoffs. We have not seen the Leafs at their playoff best yet. There's very, very few glimpses of that this year. It's almost like you think they're saving it or conserving it sometimes, and they're just kind of playing a bit conservative, just enough to win. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to Toronto, Ottawa.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say here, if Toronto comes out and they play the way that we all know that the Leafs can play, and that's the reason why they are in first place in the Atlantic Division, and Ottawa is not in first place in the Atlantic Division. If that team comes out and plays in the playoffs, I think we have 5 games in Ottawa. I think we can do it in 5. Otherwise, if we have a blip in the meter, it might go 6 or 7. I'm hoping at the most 6 personally. Anyway, Max. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Got Max on my mind. Alex Ovechkin. He needs 5 goals to break the record. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Sidney Crosby for breaking the, point a game in his career. How many seasons? Like 20 freaking years or something? That's
20
amazing.
seasons.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, do we all think Ovechkin is a far gone conclusion now? He's going to get these 5 goals in his last 8 games? Yeah.
The teams you're playing.
Do you think it's going to happen in George?
With the teams that he's got coming up, as we had spoke about, Ken, it's going to be definitely before they play Carolina.
Your thoughts, Phil?
I don't know what team he's going to do it against. I think it's inevitable. I think that his teammates are going to run everything through him and make sure that he's getting those shots and those opportunities late, tips in front of the net, digging at pucks in the crease and stuff. Like he's not standing out there sniping it from the dot. He's getting into the dirty areas. He's making sure that he gets this record this year.
Yeah,
I agree. And Joe, I'm going to give you the last thoughts on it.
100%. Yeah, they're going to feed him like crazy because they want this done this year. Don't drag it on. I think they're playing Chicago and Nashville, 2 very beatable teams that they can.
And the Islanders.
And the Islanders. So there you go. So I don't know what game he's going to do it in, but I think for sure it's going to be this year. The guy, listen, records are made to be broken. The guy's an amazing player. So I'm happy for him. Much as I like Gretzky, good on him.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay, well, I'm going to finish us off here with our we're going to get a set for Toronto and Florida. I held this off to the end. What a Is this not the game of the year, Phil?
Oh God, yeah. I think, I mean, these next games against Florida and Tampa on a back-to-back, this is this is what you play for. This is you're a little kid on your backyard rink. You're out on the street. You're in the driveway playing, and you're imagining this scenario. You come into that barn, and you take these two games. You put yourself in first, and you've got your own destiny in your hands. Go let the guys do their work, and let's see what happens.
Do you guys all think that whoever starts in net for the Leafs that's the possible man that's going to start game one? Do you still think that that's Anthony Stolarz, George?
Yeah, I do believe Anthony Stolarz is going to get number one goalie for the starting of the playoffs. Yes, I do.
All right, here's our predictions. George, we'll start with you. What's the score? Toronto, Florida.
It's gonna be a 3-2 game, tight game. We're gonna win. Toronto wins.
Well, hopefully Florida and Montreal can take a bit out of them. I know it's tough. It's hard, right? But we're a Leaf fan panel. Like I said, we're not a Florida, so we'll stick to our. I mean, you're welcome to say Florida if you want. I might boo you, but that's your prerogative. Joe, maybe we'll get a tired Florida Panther team, and you know what? They've been flailing a little bit. They've lost to the Islanders, the Bruins, the Canadians. Why not us?
Well, I
What's the
said
score,
it's a
Joe?
3-2 game.
Brad Marchand. That's why not us. That guy dominates us. So here's what I want. Leafs 4-3. Mitch Marner getting 4 points. Then all he needs is 4 more to get to 100. That guy needs it this year.
That's something I
Come
like
on.
to talk about too. Yeah.
So close.
Overtime.
Yep.
Awesome. You know what though? They don't have Matthew Tkachuk, and I think that's the reason. They can bring Brad Marchand without the double dip there, and who knows? Hopefully he doesn't start in that first round. But like you said, if it's against Tampa Bay, I don't care. Maybe he'll get hurt against Tampa Bay too. Phil, your final score, Toronto, Florida.
I don't know if you guys watched the highlights of the Montreal Florida game last night, and Mikola took that slap shot and almost took David Savard's face off.
Yeah.
There were seconds left in the game. The final horn goes, Buddy blasts a slap shot from one end of the rink to the other and starts a whole brawl after the whistle. Tuesday, Montreal, Florida. I hate them both. I hope they punch the crap out of each other. And
they will.
I hope Florida comes into that rink. I hope Florida comes into that rink on Wednesday on crutches, every single one of them. Because then, you know what I mean? The boys can go take care of business. But that Florida Montreal game, oh boy, that's going to be an absolute barn.
Yeah, I am obviously hoping.
I'm going to take the Leafs 3-1. We'll get it.
I'm losing
Yeah, I
you a
hope
little
Montreal kills them, but yeah, my internet's crap.
bit. You said
But yeah,
3-1
I hope
Leafs.
I hope it's an empty netter 3-1 the Leafs.
Thank you. Yeah, and you know what? I hope Montreal can do us another favor, help themselves out while you're at it, get that last spot. Honestly, I'm in for Montreal coming in and maybe giving Washington a little crap in that first round as well. And I don't know if Washington's ready for a team that's pushing and already in playoff mode, 10 games left. Who knows? We'll see, right? I'm going to go. Well, you know what? I'm going to go make it easy. I'm just going to say 4-2 Leafs. Empty netter. I like all your predictions, though. George, so what did you say? I'm sorry.
I said 3-2, but if we see Ottawa in the first round, I say Domi punches out Ridley Gregg.
Yeah. Well, as long as he doesn't start the fight or take the extra minutes, I'm okay with that. Okay, guys, go Leafs, go! Thank you so much. This is Ken from Ken's Corner, and we're here with Joe Moyer, my co-host on the Whistle Radio FM. Thank you, Joe, for joining me. George, all the way out there in Calgary, with that beautiful, beautiful Ken's Corners shirt. And Phil and Parts Unknown. Thank you all for showing up today. It's very nice of you to be here. Guys, Ian, you're on long-term reserve. JT, get your butt out of the hospital, all right? Get back on air here. We need you. And Gord, we'll see you next time around. And we'll bring back Paul Hendrick right before playoffs here and get everyone ready for playoffs. All right, boys. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
See you guys. Go Leafs, go.